Welcome to my YouTube channel SS Analysis. First of all, I would like to tell you that if you're watching this video first time, subscribe my channel to see my more upcoming videos on analysis of different commodities and equity indices. And second important thing is to watch this video till its end to understand the story to take your decision. Your whole like will motivate me to be regular in working more for you. So let's start the day to analyze the movements of natural gas futures in different time frames. So friends, here you can see a monthly chart of natural gas futures where you can see that how the natural gas futures have formed some peaks during the past few years. As here you can see that the first peak was seen during the year 2000 when the natural gas futures tested a high at the $10 in December 2000. So this was the first week when the natural gas futures tested a high at the $10, and here you can see how the natural gas futures found stiff resistance at the psychological resistance at $10, and consequently during the next month once again the natural gas futures tried to cross the $9.853, but from here sharp sell-off was seen in natural gas futures and the natural gas futures continued to slide downward, and this downward trend continued during the upcoming months up to September 2001. The natural gas futures tested a low at the 1.880. So friends, here you can see that how the natural gas futures behave whenever the natural gas futures find a breakout above the psychological resistance at the 6. Natural gas futures find a strong uptrend. So once again, I would like to show you that how the natural gas futures formed another lifetime peak in May 2005. So friends, here you can see that how the natural gas futures found strong upward move during the year 2005 and tested a high at the 14 in this rally. Once again some selling was there, but here you can see that how the natural gas futures found strong buying support at the 11 during this year, and from here once again the natural gas futures tested a high at the 15 in December 2005. So friends, this was a lifetime peak of the natural gas futures. So here you can see that once again how the natural gas futures tested a high at the 13.863 in July 2008. So friends, here you can see that how the natural gas futures start an uptrend before the formation of a peak with a sustained move above the 6. So friends, here you can see that how the natural gas futures found a breakout in September 2021 and tested a high at the 6.525 in October 2021, but from here some selling was there that continued to drag down the natural gas futures well below the 200 days moving average and tested a low at the 3.563 in December 2021. And after the formation of these three monthly bearish candles, most of the analysts were of the view that the natural gas futures could go even below the levels of $3 amid this fall, but finally the natural gas futures found a strong base here at the 3.706, and from here once again the natural gas futures continued to remain upward since January 2022. We have seen this uptrend in natural gas futures which is still continue. So friends, here you can see that how the natural gas futures finally found a base at the 200 days moving average in March 2022, and the natural gas futures tested a high at the 5.778 in March 2022, and once again the natural gas futures continued to sustain well above the 9 days moving average in a monthly time frame during this month. So friends, here I find that during this month the natural gas futures can find a strong rally if this uptrend continues well above the levels of 6.564. During the upcoming week, we'll see a breakout move as the short covering rally could follow this move above the levels of 6.778. I find that the natural switches could witness a short covering rally very shortly. So friends, now let me zoom this portion for you. So friends, here in the monthly time frame here, you can see that the natural switches started the current uptrend after the formation of this bullish crossover in March 2021 when the 9 days moving average closed above the 26 days moving average, and the natural futures were trading at the time well above the 9 days moving average and continued to rally upward and finally tested a peak at the 6.2 in September 2021, and once again the natural futures tested a high in October 2021, but from here a sharp sell-off was there which resulted in the formation of these three consecutive bearish candles. At that time, most of the analysts were thinking about this downward trend to continue well below the levels of the 3, but finally the natural futures found a strong support at the levels of the 3.5 in December 2021, and from here you can see that in January 2022 the natural futures found a strong upward move when some short squeezing was there which resulted in an upward move by natural futures when the natural futures tested a peak at the levels of the 7.4, but undoubtedly there was a short covering that resulted in this formation, and finally the natural futures found a base well above the 200 days moving average in a sharp downward move. During the month of February 2022, the natural futures tested the lows of the 3.890, but from here a sharp pullback was seen during this month, and finally the natural futures sustained well above the 200 days moving average, and during the month of March 2022 this rally continued and the natural futures tested a high at the 5.824, and here you can see that how this rally is still continued during this month of April. The natural futures have tested a high at the 6.557 during this month and finally closed the last week at the 6.278. So friends, here I find that during the upcoming week we could find the natural futures to sustain well above the levels of the 6.7, where the next psychological resistance at the 7 could provide some selling here, but here I find that a sustained move by natural futures well above the levels of the 6.727 will keep this uptrend intact. During the upcoming week, we will see this uptrend to continue where the natural bulls could test the levels of the 8 during this month, and on the lower side I find that the natural futures could once again test the psychological support at the 6. The level of the 6 is now turned into a psychological support when the natural futures have been sustaining well above this psychological resistance. This psychological resistance has turned into a psychological support. So friends, here I find that this uptrend may continue because here you can see the formation of this super bullish crossover in a monthly time frame as the 9 days moving average and the 26 days moving average closed above the 200 days moving average, and the natural futures have been well sustaining above the 9 days moving average in a monthly time frame. That then shows a breakout move during this month where the natural futures could test the levels of the 7.7 very shortly, because if the natural futures find a system move well above the levels of the 6.776 during the upcoming week, we'll see an advent of a short covering rally during this month. So thank you friends, thanks for watching this video. If you liked this video, don't forget to share this video with your more and more friends. Thank you.